What's going on? Welcome back to another brand new episode of Skywalking Through the League. I am your host, Bill Sheehy, and I'm joined, as always, by my Jedi partner in crime, Trey Mitchell. Trey, how you doing today, bud? Are you there? Is he there? Look at him. Look at that beautiful.
I'm preparing
beautiful
for a tropical storm / hurricane that's supposed to hit me.
When?
So that's tonight.
Shit. Well, this is the first time you've mentioned it. What? Are you okay?
It's more my mom texting me about it, being like, you need to make sure you have food and water, of which I have neither. So
that's good.
If it rains, I'll just drink the rainwater. I mean, come on. What are we doing?
Just put your mouth out and go, and then just get it. And then you know what? If there's a little puddle outside there, that's all you need. That's all the sustenance you need.
Yep. I know.
There you go.
But
how was your holiday weekend? Okay, did you do anything fun? Are you okay?
I didn't do anything fun. I saw Fast 9.
Now, is that the one about family?
Yeah, in case you've been off Twitter.
Okay.
My favorite one was the one of Dom saves he saves Mufasa because Mufasa's family, and he falls and he just takes him in. He puts him in the car and he's like, your family.
Listen, I know that I just brought up the meme and I said the family thing, but like I'm already tired of it. Like I saw one and was like, oh, this is gonna be a thing, isn't it?
It's great. You can't be tired of it yet.
I think I am though. It's everything. It's everywhere I go, and it's
family is everything. You're right.
I think I'm just getting old. I think that's what it is. I think I'm just becoming a curmudgeon because like I see it, and it's just another thing that I don't like. But yeah, I'm glad that you got to see Fast 9. You got to see some fireworks.
I saw that in a movie called Zola.
Zola. How was that? I've heard really good things about it.
That takes place in Tampa. The final shot is 5 miles from me.
So
right now.
What you're saying is that we are going to have that exact same experience when I come to see you.
Oh, I hope not.
Oh, okay, good.
Unless you have a pimp.
Not that I'm aware of. Unless somebody is holding something back from me, and like that every relationship I've ever had, I've just been a complicated pimp dynamic.
Who would it be?
If I have pimp on Twitter,
Scotty Jarrett would be your pimp on Twitter.
Yeah, probably. That sounds about right. He yes, I very, very bombastic. Y'all kind of go watch, but
Friday. I'm seeing it Friday. Windows.
I'm seeing it Thursday with my sister.
Windows, are you going to change your name to your actual name on Twitter? Anytime
it's a
soon?
secret.
Because I feel weird calling you that because I know your Twitter name is different than that now. But anyways, I'm sure you're typing.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm excited for Black Widow. It's going to be cool. I'm excited for Loki tomorrow. It's going to be good.
I am too.
That show has been amazing. It's the best show on Disney Plus right now.
Which, by the way, spoilers for last week's Loki. We are officially a Richard E. Grant podcast again. Because he's classic Loki, like of all the costumes and things that we've gotten in the MCU recently. That's somehow the most comic accurate to me. Like it just looks like straight from the comics. And like once I saw that he was in it, I was like, that's perfect casting.
Hey, Ferg, how's it going, man?
A tip of the fedora, a metaphorical fedora.
I'm not familiar with them. I'm excited for Black Widow. It's almost like I'll be seeing it with her.
Wow.
Okay.
Very cool.
Windows. Maybe. I'll always forget to update it. I feel like
you are not a fool.
Okay.
No one here is a fool except me. Like and you can quote me on that.
Except we.
Also,
we have an exciting announcement for the 17th of July, don't we, Bill?
Yes, we do.
Going to another planet. You want to tell the good people?
I would love to. So my good friend, Jeffrey Bezos, as Bo Burnham would say,
Bezos
is taking us to space, and we're going to a different planet. We're not. It's all a farce. Jeff is taking us to another planet, and he's taking us to the planet of Batu on July 17th because my good friend Trey and my good friend co-host and all around great guy and I are going to Galaxy's Edge together. I'm going to build my lightsaber. I'm going to get a fuzzy tauntaun.
Yes.
The drink, not the weird thing, but we'll talk about that later.
Winning the two.
And then we're going to Batu. I don't care. I'm building my lightsaber. I don't like it's kind of embarrassing, but like literally an hour ago.
I think the process is cooler than the result.
Yeah, for sure. I've kind of been preparing myself with Fallen Order and like taking a look at all the like pieces that are gonna be there and like building it.
I wish it was as cool as Fallen Orders. I wish you could have all that stuff.
Look, I'm gonna cry either way. Like I'm going to be. It's going to be like the classic in 30 Rock, Tracy Morgan when he's on the freeway and he's just got the red lightsaber. I am a Jedi! That's just going to be me from now on now that I have my lightsaber. I'm still thinking about what color I want to do because I go back and forth every day, especially what colors are available, by the way? Did you guys
we
probably
talked about that.
I think that's
about staying like a day or two late.
Mm-hmm.
And then going like on like that Monday.
And like with Celebration, like they'll undoubtedly have like a special event like at Galaxy's Edge.
Maybe Sunday night. Night would be pretty cool to go.
Yeah, I think so.
It'd be cool if they like closed it off. It'd be cool if they like closed it off to. I mean, they wouldn't do this probably. If they like closed it just to people who were going to Celebration. Go ahead.
But there's generally like an event that like Thursday or Friday.
Is there? I don't know.
Yeah. I think that they were planning for it before like the big sad happened last year. Which I don't know if what's up?
I got something new.
What's that? Yes, Star Wars for Disney After Dark. Look at that. Look at him. He's hold on. Do I think I have him? I've got it.
I have. I also got my last. I basically made I made like a shrine to the sequels over here. You can't see it. My friend Kyle he moved to Boston. He gave me like a shelf. So I have 2 High Republic posters and then 3 Last Jedi things, and then all sequel trilogy Funkos like set up like they're about to commit some sort of cult crime. So it looks cool. They're gonna.
That was not where I thought that was gonna go.
They're gonna sacrifice Mike Zero for the soul.
Okay.
Well,
I'm still very, very lazy. I haven't set up anything in my new office. The only thing that I have is my Cinderella boy, which I think I'm gonna play you guys a song.
You really gonna play? I'm being serenaded.
You hear that? See, you don't get that other stuff on the actually you do get that on the Bob Bagcast. That's very.
I have 2 guitars right over there. If I knew that was happening, we could have serenaded the chat.
We could have done it. We'll definitely plan something. We'll just
for the Patreon. That will never be launched.
Right. Well, it'll be
against launching a Patreon.
Yeah, but anyway. So we've got a lot of stuff to get to today. There's actually a little bit of news that hit right before we started today, a couple hours before, which is very, very nice because we're so used to doing a new episode and then like an hour later, news dropping. So it's just I want to start with this story first. Tamara Morrison. Don't know if you've heard of him. He plays Boba Fett, excuse me, sorry. And he was talking about the creation or the making of Boba Fett, the Book of Boba Fett, and he confirmed some directors for the series. He's confirmed Robert Rodriguez, Jon Favreau, Bryce Dallas Howard, and Dave Filoni. They're all coming back to direct episodes. Well, not coming back. They're going to direct some episodes of the Book of Boba Fett, which is really, really exciting. I don't know if that's everybody who will be doing it, but it's really, really exciting to get those voices back into Star Wars because I think we both agree that some of the best episodes of The Mandalorian are all directed by those people. So what do you think about this? Do you think is this a big deal? Not a big deal? What do you think?
I guess part of me was hoping that Robert Rodriguez was going to direct every episode because he directed my favorite episode of season 2 of The Mandalorian. But it really does feel like this show is Mandalorian season 2.5.
Yeah, 2.5.
Yeah, and I know that I think we even talked about that on the podcast about some report or something that came out. But I mean, I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to the Book of Boba Fett. Any more Star Wars directed by Bryce Dallas Howard is a huge win in my book. Get more Dave Filoni, which is exciting, and then Jon Favreau directing. Like, I feel like with The Mandalorian, he was so stressed about it because he was the showrunner, so that having him like just be someone who is just going to direct an episode of the show, like he isn't worried about production and meeting budget costs and all that stuff. Just like letting him do what he does. Could be a pretty cool thing because man, he doesn't miss with his stuff he directs.
And like I don't think well,
but
and
that
even
wasn't
like
really a him thing.
That's like The Lion King is just like I think was impossible to translate to live action because like it's the things that were wrong with that were just like technological issues. It wasn't like it was the same story. It just
I don't know. The acting was pretty bad. Donald Glover and Beyonce were terrible.
Beyonce, yes.
Donald Glover was not good.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to rewatch.
Only time I'll ever see that.
Yeah, like because I have been to she I don't like to shit on Beyonce at all. If this was the one time that I did. But in terms of like
Simba, no, you can't go.
You can't do it. What? I think Tommy Wiseau could do a better job than what Beyonce did in The Lion King, and I'm sorry that hurts me to say.
Nala?
I did not hit her. Oh, hi, Mufasa.
Rip.
But rip.
I'm excited for the Book of Boba Fett, though. I know
we're
going to
get any more directors.
But I hope not, because it's only going to be 6 episodes. Mm-hmm. So we have 3 of those, and then I hope. Well, maybe. Mm-hmm. I'm still hoping George Lucas directs something in some Star Wars episode.
Yeah. Would you want it to be Book of Boba Fett though? Yeah.
I don't know. Let's see, Dave Filoni does have a good job with Bad Batch, I suppose. Yeah. Definitely Berg.
Yeah, I mean, like it's Filoni.
Beehive.
If they first of all, if you're from the Beehive, welcome. All are welcome here.
Fight me.
Yeah, don't. Why would you do that? You're literally poking the Beehive. You're poking the bear.
Fine, Nicki Minaj games. We rise up.
Okay.
I've been listening to a ton of Meg Thee Stallion too. Mm-hmm. Just all around female rap is going right now.
I got you.
Anyways, but the Book of Boba Fett is gonna be like I'm seeing that post-credit scene because we heard that there was a Boba Fett show being filmed during when The Mandalorian was airing, and it was like, what is this? And now that that's the next live action show, I'm just so excited, and seeing more Tamir Morrison, Fennec Shand.
And seeing
it's awesome. And, the Book of Boba. I saw this theory on TikTok that I really hated. The theory was that they were supposed to. Go ahead.
The opening of that sentence made me laugh.
TikTok theories are trash, man. It drives me.
Which
nuts.
I think you sent me one the other day.
Star Wars.
You sent me one the other day where I was like, "That is not going to happen." And it's just
yeah. The one that I sent you was that there are 2 realities of Star Wars. One where Ahsoka dies, and that's the one where the sequels happen, and then one where Ahsoka lives, and then that's this alternate reality where the sequels don't exist. And I'm like, I have a headache. But
as the kids would say, big yikes. Big yikes. Yeah,
but the theory I saw was that the Book of Boba Fett is replacing Mando season 3 because of COVID issues, and that the chapters that the Mandalorian was only supposed to be 2 chapters of this book, and then book 3 is. Or chapter 3 is the Book of Boba Fett. I don't know. It was stupid. I said you're stupid on the video.
You know who the source of that rumor is? It's Grace Randolph.
Zero.
No, it's Grace Randolph.
We got this covered.
We got any of those people just shooting blanks at this point. Nothing has hit ever. Nothing even comes out. It's just disappointing. Yeah, it's. That there's a story with The World Between Worlds with Ben Solo that I think could possibly make sense, but other than that, I don't. That's something you don't use unless you absolutely have to. So speaking of Worlds Between Worlds, I kind of want to move on to our next topic. So on Saturday, we finally got our first look at Star Wars Visions, which my good friend Diamond Daniel Dunstan and I have been talking about ad nauseum because he's a big anime fan, and he was really, really worried that they hadn't shown anything off until Saturday. But they finally showed off the 7 studios that are doing the stories, and they gave some insights into what's it going to be about, how it'll fit into the timeline. First of all, none of these stories will be canon, which I think is a great,
which is a big deal.
I think this is the perfect medium for Star Wars. Like you've talked about, we say it at least once a show that like Star Wars is best in animated form, and like most of Star Wars, most of Dave Filoni came from Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is heavily influenced by anime. So like it just made a lot of sense that like this would happen eventually. And here are the 9 stories that they're going to do, and I'm going to say the studios that are doing them. Kamikaze Duga is doing The Duel. Geno Studio Twin Engine is doing Loop and Ocho. Studio Colorado Twin Engine is doing Tatooine Rhapsody, which is apparently a Star Wars rock opera, which sounds dope. Trigger is doing The Twins and the Elder. Cinema Citrus is doing The Village Bride. Science Saru is doing Kiri. Science Saru is also doing Toby 1, which awesome. I love that name. And Production IG is doing The Ninth Jedi. I was excited for this before, and I still am, because I think there's a lot of really, really cool stuff that they can do here. It being not canon, I think, is the right call 100%, because like then you don't get concerned about how does this fit into the timeline. They can tell their own stories in a medium that all these people, that all these people love. And like one of my favorite moments from that trailer was, I forget which one is, I think it's the one the studio that's doing the Ninth Jedi, was this is the last anime that he will ever produce. And like to end it with Star Wars was like a humongous honor to him, which I love, because like it didn't have to be a prerequisite to do it, but it's nice that when fans get the chance to do something really, really cool with Star Wars. So first of all, are you excited, and what are you most looking forward to? Is there a specific story that you're looking forward to?
I think there was one that was like the twins of the dark side.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I
think it's the twins.
Is what it's called. I was at dinner when the trailer happened on Saturday night. I mean, it released when I was busy, which I think I've seen the full thing since now. But I've at least seen the snippets and screenshots. It looks beautiful. I think it's interesting that this is the first project Star Wars that is like not considered canon,
mm-hmm.
because like as much as I like Star Wars being like a mythology, that everything has purpose and everything has like it's written in stone, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of cool that this is a separate little chunk of Star Wars that the creators can do whatever they want to.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that as much as I like the canon, it does restrict storytelling. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited to see this for what it is. And the anime looks beautiful. I've never been someone who's like, I haven't seen a Studio Ghibli's film or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I've never really gotten into anime, but I like the art style, and I like just how it looks and the tone of it. It's a really cool project, and I'm just really excited for these next few years of Star Wars, because I think the storytellers are the most empowered that any storytellers have been in Star Wars since like Lucas, because like with Kenobi, I mean Deborah Chow, like I'm so excited for that. With this, I'm so excited for the people who are making this show, and like it's also releasing all at once, which is something that hasn't really happened with Star Wars before, like with the show. And that's interesting. And I think it's supposed to come out in September.
September, yeah. And like
that'll be awesome.
I need to reread the
I
press.
just watch one episode of like a few episodes a week. I don't know if I want to watch it all at once.
I think I need to look over the press release that this, or the StarWars.com spread that they did on it. Because I don't know how long each of these are. So like, if these are like 15 minutes, or if it's like a kind of like the old school Clone Wars where each thing is like 4 or 5 minutes. I think it's going to be
old school was like 2 minutes.
Yeah, I think that it could be kind of like that, but I'm thinking it's more of a like 15, 20 minute, maybe even 30, like just full succinct arc in that time where they tell everything that they need to.
Is it supposed to be in English?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, as far as I know, yeah. I want to talk a little bit about the Ninth Jedi, because something really, really grabbed my attention. And this is from the press release that StarWars.com did. The Ninth Jedi is an absolutely epic story, according to Rhimes, but it actually began as 2 separate stories. One was to be set in a time when Jedi have fallen into legend and need to come back as darkness threatens the galaxy, with the daughter of a lightsaber smith seeking the Jedi and delivering their weapons. The idea of a lightsaber smith is so cool to me. I don't know why. It just it feeds into that old school like Arthurian legend where like, or medieval times where it's like there's a blacksmith and maybe you need to reforge the special lightsaber or something like that. I have no idea why that excites me.
It's like the armor
in
the Mandalorian.
Yeah, like forging a lightsaber like that. All of these stories sound so cool. And like I'm sure there'll be more after this, which I'm curious to see if you think that there'll be more studios that will, if this is a success, do you think they'll allow more anime studios to do this? One that I would love to see, I've been watching My Hero Academia recently, well, basically since the pandemic, with my friend Daniel. And Studio Bones, if they did a Star Wars, like in that, it does give me Zelda vibes, which, thank you. My 2 great loves, Star Wars and Zelda. I think that the Studio Bones already, like, My Hero Academia, like, there are just straight up places in the show that are named after Star Wars things. Like, there is a Dagobah Beach, and the big arena where they all fight is called Camino. And I know there's one of the main characters is just straight up Yoda. Like, his name is Gran Torino, but he's small and old and moves just like Yoda. Like, so they are undoubtedly inspired by Star Wars. Let that studio do a Star Wars story. I think that would be insanely awesome. Do you think that'll happen, or how do you see this? Do you think this is a one-off, or do you think there'll be more after this?
I would love if this was a continuous thing. I would love more Star Wars anime stories. Like, just a story you said to me of the Ninth Jedi. Like, that's really interesting to me. Like, that sounds so cool, and I'm just looking forward to this slice of Star Wars. Like, you can consume it all at once. You can wait it through a few episodes, whatever you want to do, and it's like it's just exciting. I think more exciting than even the Bad Batch, just because of like, what the hell is it?
Yeah,
like you could tell a story about a Minok on Ardania, or like just anything you want to do.
A Minok roast on Ardania because they're nuts.
Like, it doesn't.
Everybody knows that,
and I like. It's just gonna be sick. I'm really just super looking forward to. Yeah,
me too. So speaking of Bad Batch,
there's one more story I want to just hint on for a second.
Go ahead.
I know it's not in the notes, but Zack Snyder is doing a movie in space called Rebel Moon, and from Variety it says the film is grand fantasy adventure centered around an enigmatic young woman who is given the responsibility by a peaceful colony on the outskirts of the galaxy to find warriors who can fend off the impending invasion of despotic.
Diospic.
There's a lot of words. But anyways, the reason why I bring this up is because Zack Snyder actually pitched this to Lucasfilm before 2012, and they didn't want it, but he kind of
so this is that story
during Army of the Dead. That this is the Star Wars film that Zack Snyder created that isn't actually Star Wars now, but like Zack Snyder is going to do a Star Wars film, which is something that we've talked about. How does are you excited for that at all? Like, what do you?
So,
I think it was supposed to be around Yoda.
Yeah,
from what I saw on Twitter.
I think Zack Snyder, what I think he does really, really well is spectacle. And like, I think that he does spectacle well. I think he does visuals really, really well. And he loves big, huge, sweeping ideas. He likes, Superman is Jesus. He likes telling these epic stories, which I think when it's just like, when you're not getting into the nitty gritty details of most of the stuff and you see his entire vision, I think it's awesome. But like, if it's like, if it's more sucker punch and not the Snyder cut of the Justice League, I don't know if I'd be, I like Zack Snyder, and I think that him doing a Star Wars would be interesting. In fact, I want to do an episode just talking about like the pros and cons of Zack doing a Star Wars movie, because I think that basically sounds like that could be a story about Rey after Episode 9, where she has to recruit more Jedi and at the outskirts of the galaxy and save the galaxy. So I think it's a good test for him to like see if he could do a Star Wars movie. Just like how much of the mythology would he kind of break? I think like he could do it. I know that there are probably people who will disagree with that, and I'd love to have them on the show and talk about it. All his stuff, when I've seen like full versions of it, Fergus, I would too. He's just a guy that like I want to see his take on, like, I liked his take on Superman. I liked his take on Batman. I liked his take on the Justice League. I think that given don't get in his way, don't interfere, but like I think that he has an interesting story to tell in Star Wars, and excuse me, I would like to see it at some point. I don't know if that's a movie. No worries. It's all good, Jackson. I think I know what your answer is going to be, but I would be interested to see what he would do. What is your answer? Darth
Bane, Zack Snyder film starring Henry Cavill. I've said it once. I'll say it twice. I'll say it thrice. He's the guy who I'd want to do that.
If I can quote,
and I love Darth Bane. So
Will Smith,
my child.
Yo, that's hot. That's hot.
I thought you were saying Will Smith for Darth Bane. I'm like,
no. I was saying
half the budget, but
yeah, I mean that. I don't know if Will Smith could do Darth Bane. I think Henry Cavill's a great choice. I think like it just slow motion, yeah, with a view. That's how the movie starts. And then of course the Martha in the middle of it, or the name of Rey's mother is very pivotal at the end. Sheev, why did you say that name? But yeah,
I will defend that scene for the rest of my life.
I know. Any final thoughts on the Snyder movie? Or Will Smith as Darth Name is sexy. But okay, I was about to say, who the hell is Darth Name? Yes, it would be sexy because Will Smith. Everybody knows.
Tupac doesn't.
All right, so let's get into the meat and the potatoes of today's episode. The latest episode of The Bad Batch, called Common Ground. And what I've been doing the past few episodes is I've been reading the synopsis and just kind of going from there. So here's the synopsis. On Raxus, which was the seat of the Separatist government during the Clone Wars, the Empire institutes new curfew laws with the support of local Senator Avi Singh. While addressing the public, Singh speaks out against the Empire instead and is arrested. His protocol droid, GS-8, hires Sid to help rescue Singh, and she sends the Bad Batch, who are reluctant to help after fighting against the Separatists in the Clone Wars. Omega is left behind due to the multiple bounty hunters that are targeting her, and she wins Sid enough money playing Dejarik to pay off the Bad Batch's debt. With the help of GS-8, the Bad Batch rescue Singh and take him to Sid for payment. So we watched this episode. We've rewatched it now at this point. What do you think about them going back to Raxus, the capital of the Confederacy? I thought it was a really, really cool move. Let's start from there and let's go into what we liked about the episode. What did you think about them going to Raxus?
Where has that been in Star Wars?
Do what?
Where has Raxus been?
It was the capital of the Confederacy. Yeah, we had seen it.
But where was that in the Clone Wars show?
I think the planet showed up in. I think there was an arc with Ahsoka where Padme was friends with a senator from there. But this Avi Singh is a character I don't think they've shown before. But I thought it was an interesting.
He was my favorite part.
Yeah, I think it's a really, really interesting concept of like these, where the state of the galaxy is right now. You have these clones that fought, in the Clone Wars. Oh yeah, it's also in the Dark Disciple book. I think you're right. I think it's really, really interesting to see the Bad Batch who kind of like in that Kanan had in Rebels where with the clones, like initially they were just like, nah, I don't want to go to Raxus. This guy's a separatist. I don't want to help him. But like they kind of have to. But eventually, like throughout the episode, they kind of like not come to his way, but they like save him and they kind of learn a valuable lesson. And I think where they're going to go with it, they're forming the rebellion. Like that's what they're doing. They have if not forming it, they're placing the seeds in the ground to see like till the rebellion grows out of it in 19 years. Because I think that there's a lot of the seeds of the rebellion are in are with the Confederacy. So like I think that concept alone is really, really cool. And is probably my biggest positive from this episode. What do you think?
Yeah, the State of the Galaxy is like the coolest part of the show to me.
Mm-hmm.
I still haven't connected to the Bad Batch characters. Like I don't know. I haven't really
gotten into it yet.
It hasn't grabbed me yet. But like seeing the State of the Galaxy and seeing like the opening scene is really powerful. Having the senator kind of just be like, as your senator, as your representative, I cannot do this.
Sorry, I tried. I really did. I can't. Sorry.
Yeah, and it was cool, and then just seeing, because you got to think about it, like the galaxy was at war, and then the Republic thinks that they won, but they lost. They just don't know, and because they were on the wrong side of war. So now you have fallout of we won the war. Now we're taking over everything because of safety, protection, law and order. And that's something that you hear with dictators and people in the real world who want everything to be controlled, to have that grip of law and order and safety and protection and peace. When none of that shit is real, man. That's controlling the populace for the sake of not wanting your opposition to come to power and being scared. So it's that part of the Bad Batch is really interesting to me. But overall, I think this episode was it was okay. It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
But I think I have a ton to talk about with it.
Like I said before, I really dug the themes of the episode and like the arc that the Bad Batch goes through initially. Like, I don't want to save this separatist piece of shit to Windows said in the chat, he broke the vase to save them. It felt full, like he said, it felt full circle. And I think that those lessons are going to be important for the series as a whole. And I think that, like I said before, shades of Kanan. Like it's just like you've got to move on from your former enemy. Like the bad guys are the Empire. Like the Separatists were just basically used to help lead to the rise of the Empire. Like they were definitely used. So like these guys aren't your enemy. Like as much as the Clone Wars, like you know, are about the clones and how they fought in the Clone Wars and all that stuff. They're the Separatists. They did have some points from a certain point of view. So
they had
like,
a lot of points.
Yeah. So like
they were the good guys.
I kind of want to talk about, you know, we've seen Raxus. It kind of got me thinking about the idea of more Separatists showing up in the show. And there's one particular Separatist that like I'm already thinking of because like they talked about it I think in the Rogue One novel. Cassian Andor was a Separatist. So like I think that like there's a possibility, like, you know, the Andor show's coming out next year. They've already shown a couple of surprises with Cad Bane. You know, do you think there's any possibility that we could see more Separatists? Do you think we could see specifically Cassian? What do you think? And
how old would he be?
And God, I don't know. Probably like
18.
He might be, yeah.
Like 16 or 18.
And whatever in the chat, what do you guys think? Are there any other Separatist leaders or any Separatists that you would want to see in the Bad Batch that you think would make sense? Cassian was just the first one that comes to mind for me.
They're not Separatists, but the Cloud Riders.
Yeah. I think that, like we talked about before, it's the beginning of the rebellion. Like
Bail Organa, I guess, is now a Separatist.
I mean, yeah. I mean, he's openly.
I just don't know that many notable Separatists that survived. Like I want to say Daddy Dukes, but he's Daddy gone at this point.
Daddy gone.
Yeah.
I think it would be interesting. Lux, who is Lux? Which one is Lux?
He was a guy.
He was a guy.
Hold on. Windows, is he the guy that Ahsoka liked? In that one arc with the
I'm looking it up right now. I'm so sorry.
Centauri, is that his name?
Oh, Lux Bonteri. He was a let's see, hold on. This
so
picture
many people in Star Wars. Okay,
yeah,
Windows gave us the crucial confirmation.
Okay, good. Yes. I think he was in what book was he in? He was in the Inferno Squadron, wasn't he?
I didn't read that. I don't know.
I think that's like he died. He died in that. I think. Yeah, Lux Bonteri. I think. You know, there are so many. I think it would just be an interesting twist if like these people that we have portrayed as the bad guys throughout the Clone Wars all of a sudden become like, these are the guys these are your friends. These are the people that you have the most in common with. I just think that would be an interesting twist. That I think that, you know, George hinted that in the Clone Wars with a couple of arcs that like, hey, some of the Confederacy did have some good points. Maybe we should listen. And even like Padme said in Revenge of the Sith, this war is a sign of a failure to listen. So like now they could listen and like see from their point of view. And before we kind of get into our what didn't work for us, I did love the twist that Omega is a degenerate gambler now and is hustling and winning stuff for Sid. What did you think about? I like it, but at the same time, it feels kind of like, okay, now your debt has been paid. You don't because Omega is so good at this. What did you think?
I mean, I think we're going to see the stages of Bad Batch from being kind of being on the wrong side of things to being in the middle to being on the good fight. Like, I would like if Mon Mothma heard about them and started to recruit them for the rebellion, or if Bail Organa started to recruit them. Kind of going back to the Omega thing, I just think it's like it reminded me of Solo a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Shout out Solo.
Shout out Solo.
Shout out Solo. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. I guess going forward to the stuff we didn't like, I don't know if there's anything specifically that I didn't like with this episode.
Mm-hmm.
I just think there wasn't anything that I really did like. So it was just like kind of fine. It wasn't bad, but in terms of having these, and I had a lot of the same problems with Rebels, and Rebels is my favorite thing in Star Wars at this point. So it's not to say that the Bad Batch is bad. It's just that as something that we consume weekly, sometimes there's 400 calories in the episode, and sometimes there's 150 calories, and it's like it still tastes good, but it doesn't fill you. Like it's just kind of like it's kind of, and it's good, but it's like it's just a little snack sometimes. There's not too much there,
and like it's not like she's a snack,
to be a lot,
or he or she are a snack. Like it's just like that. There's no Thanksgiving meal, you know. There should be some payoff at some point. You see, look, agree with Bill. That's my favorite phrase in the human language, or in the English language. What an idiot! In the human language, yeah. It felt like, okay, now they're not indebted to Sid. It didn't feel like there were any stakes or anything. It just like things just kind of happened. And I will say, like, to your point about like it just like not being particular, like it's good, but like it's kind of just like we talked about at the beginning, or we talked about a couple weeks ago. Like the first couple episodes were kind of good to meh, and like this is kind of a return to meh for me, because like I said, there was one specific theme and arc that I enjoyed that I think is really, really interesting. But other than that, it just like
all the Cad Bane stuff was great.
Yeah, it didn't do it for me, which is fine. Like I don't. There's no such thing as filler. This isn't filler. I think we should just get that out of our vocabulary. That there are no filler episodes. Like this is an episode that means something, that will that teaches a lesson that will pay off eventually. So like there's no filler. It's not doing what I thought it would for me, which is totally fine. And like if it's not, that's the thing with all this new Star Wars stuff. If this isn't working for me, I can find The Mandalorian. I can read The High Republic. I can do something else. I'm not going to sit and complain and bitch about it. Like I'll tell you the things that I liked. I'll tell you the things that I didn't like. I'm not going to tell Kathleen Kennedy to resign because she ruined my childhood, because she did not. Like that's dumb. And if you saying that on the internet, get your head checked. Smoke. Don't smoke. Go outside, have a drink, look at the sun, man. Like look, there's beauty.
Don't look directly at the sun.
Don't look directly at it, but like look at the beauty. There's beauty everywhere, man. Don't bitch about Star Wars. How would you rate this episode out of 10? What would you rate this?
Like a 7.5. It wasn't bad, but I watched it again. I always watch the episodes again before the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I just found myself like on my phone, during the show. Whereas I'm glad I remember this. I wanted to plug Superman and Lois because I've been watching that show.
Yes, sir.
And it's freaking awesome. It's so good. And so to juxtapose that to Superman and Lois, like I watched that show and I'm glued because it's awesome. So it's fine. It's a little slice of Star Wars, which is like cool, but I don't have much more to say than that.
Yeah, me neither. I'd give it a 6.8, or it's anywhere from like a 6.8 to like a 7, somewhere in there. There were parts that I really enjoyed. There were parts that I didn't. I hope that the rest of the season is spectacular, but like, it's just like, and I know there are ups and downs in every season of whatever you're doing. Like it feels like
a lot of, they're okay episodes though.
Yeah. And that like, looking back on the Mandalorian's first season, like I think it's kind of similar. You get like there was a lot of great setup, and then like it finally pays off in season 2. I hope and pray that there is just a lot of good setup, and then it pays off in a second season, or it pays off in a humongous finale. So yeah, that's
animation looks really good.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, and where do you think we go from here? Do you think there's any? Do you have any idea, or do you think is it just folly to try to guess what happens
That was
next?
episode 10, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we got 6 episodes left.
No, yeah. 5, but
yeah.
I
mean,
don't know.
They're not indebted anymore. So they can leave.
Pretty kind of random.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope they start to get recruited by the rebellion. That's like my thing. Is I hope they start having a redemption to their not mercenaries, their heroes.
Right. I do too, and like Crosshair's to come back too at some point. Like,
I don't think so. I hope he dies.
But he has to come back in this season at some point. Like there are just too many.
But you can't go bad and then be good again. You got to die first. Star Wars rules.
It is the Star Wars way. It is the Star Wars way. So, yeah, I don't know where we're going. I know the Bad Batch are going to do some pretty bad things at some point though. For good though. Anyway, I think that's all we've got for the episode today. Like I said, that's all we got for the Star Wars episode. We're actually going to have our NBA episode tomorrow. We're going to break down Game 1 of the NBA Finals. Maybe talk about a little bit of the controversy that's happening in the basketball world right now. Yeah.
I got some stuff to talk about.
We got some stuff to talk about.
Yeah, Rachel Nichols is a piece of shit.
Well,
if you're watching Rachel, I hope you have a horrible day.
Oh well, her show got canceled, so I think that happened.
Yeah, only day later. She's back tomorrow because white supremacy.
Before we shit on Rachel Nichols, do you want to do a prediction for the game tonight? Who do you think wins? And give me a score.
Suns by like 15 tonight. It's going to be a blowout.
I think it'll be closer than what we think. I still think it'll be like 9 points. I'm going to say 109 to 100. Suns.
I think it's
the people's Suns. So I think that's all we got for you guys tonight. Once again, we'll have an NBA episode tomorrow. So if you're not quite tired of our shenanigans yet, there's plenty more.
Subscribe too, please. Please subscribe. We'd like to get to 100 subscribers.
Smash it. Here, you ready? Let me show you what you should do.
At any point.
Can I show you? Ready? Smash it. Get that out.
I think it's more on my side.
Okay. Well, here, hold on.
Anyway, it's not. No, it's on your side. The likes are on my side.
Okay. Right there. You're already here. Press that button.
And if you are subscribed, try to make your profile public if you can, because we're going to do a giveaway. So we want to be able to see your profile so that you can be entered into possibly a High Republic giveaway. So
it could be High Republic. It could be $1 million, or
we'll see if my Drew Holiday bet hits tonight.
Well, probably a High Republic book, but yeah. Anyway,
but and thank you for everyone who has subscribed. That's really kind of you, and we really appreciate it. It's nice having our own channel now because we don't have to, bum off that loser ass Trey's channel. So
Trey Mitchell.
Things are on the up and up.
They are. They are. Trey, where can they find you on Twitter, bud?
Right here.
Okay. And you can find me on Twitter at Star Wars Bill. It's right there. I'm pointing at it. So if you're listening to the recording, and of course, follow Skywalking through the league on Twitter at SkywalkingTL. We're gonna go watch the NBA.
I'd like to get these podcasts out as soon as possible, but there's been an issue with the YouTube channel where I can't access the live stream for like a day or so. So I guess if you're listening to this on the podcast, just know we try to get them out as soon as possible. Yeah. But there have been some issues with YouTube because what I do is I just download the audio from the YouTube video, and it's pretty easy. but some of our live shows, when they convert to a video, they don't convert immediately. So just if you are listening to this on audio, just know we looking out for you, but there's been
Yes,
some
sir.
problems going on. So, but I think it's getting better. So
Yeah, it is.
Anyways.
It is. Godspeed, Rebels. Have a wonderful night, and we'll see you tomorrow.